As the previous speaker, I'm very, very honored to be here on the stage. With my favorite topic. I'm also very happy to have my data on my agenda on my day job because it has been mostly like my pro bono on my leisure time activities as such. So, from talks to walks, and I'd like to point out, the organization that I'm coming now is a new organization, and we are still a bit under the debate of the current regime. What should we do with the asset pointed at us by the previous regime, which is a sustainable amount of money. So that's why I'm more talking about like what we are doing on a operational level rather than where we are actually going to invest. So allow me to say this now, especially to the Finnish-speaking audience. Finland's MyData story tells about power of people and passion. And that's why I want to pay respect for everybody who's been on that journey. My journey started a decade ago at Nokia when I discussed with one of our leadership team members saying that my data like my currency. And he looked at me and said, I totally get what you mean, but Pia, we have some other challenges in this company at the time being. So my data topic didn't raise so high at that point. A dear colleague of mine at that time, visiting Nokia for a while, is actually a person you may also know, Shane Green, who is hopefully, I don't know if he's here or landing to Helsinki. And he also discussed about the same stuff at Nokia, and only very recently we found each other back again. So very much looking forward to him to land to Helsinki. My frustration started from the fact that I'm still frustrated about that internet for me as a consumer doesn't know me. I do realize what we have learned with Cambridge Analytica, but in a very practical manner, if I have a chance to travel to some location, I'm still pushed by commercials that, hey, what happened in that great pub in Dublin 6, 7, 8 weeks ago after I made the visit. I would love to share my data in a trusted place where I could teach my consuming behavior, how I try not to fly that much anymore, or that I love Burger King hamburgers, but now I've changed my habits. So I feel that the intentional internet that would help me as a butler and concierge is still very, very far away. I do have it in my pocket and in my ring, but so the hardware is here. And then what also frustrates me a lot is that here in Finland we haven't really moved the needle yet big time when it comes to MyData operator activities or MyData-based apps and services. MyData was the topic already in the previous government's agenda. And now this government, who kind of took over after our election in April, and is now put together their government program, and MyData, or Oma Data, as it's in Finnish, was mentioned, I think, at least 5 times there, with all these important things like equality in the digital economy, digital society, access to vulnerable people, etc., people in the vulnerable positions, etc. So we've been talking in Finland, and while I was preparing this presentation, I had a sparring partner, Jogi Poikola, whom you all know as well. So he said, Pia, say this and say that. So yes, we had the pleasure of being, being here in a very kernel of this beautiful community that I've experienced, and this is my 4th time attending MyData conference, as many of you, but still we haven't been walking the talk here in Finland. and I'm spanking my fellow colleagues here and putting now finally my own efforts to that together with Vake and with all of you, I hope. So what Vake did in June 19, I wasn't in the team yet, my colleague here, Terhi was. So we organized MyData Challenge, business challenge, and where we were actually looking for those initiators to really start working on hands-on, getting them dirty with MyData Operator. We got 40 entrants, and out of that we chose 8 finalists. And today, during this slot in front of you, I'm happy to share my time with Mikko from Posti, so Finnish Post. I'm using this, sorry, it's easier. I don't know if you have an English name, but Posti. So anyhow, and they was picked up as a winner, and we were quite surprised, the jury. I learned I wasn't in the jury yet since I was still engaged with 2-3 startups, so I only started with Vake in last month. But I interviewed the jury members and they were a bit surprised that it was Posti, since Finland is quite small and we didn't know that you were so advanced. So I'm very grateful to share my beautiful slot, my nice slot on this beautiful stage with him. But in addition to Posti's solution, there were other laureate as well featured, such as Tilaajavastuu, Muntiedot.fi service, My Health Data Group, and HEDAI, and they are also now joining to this ecosystem that can be built around Posti. And of course, as Vake, we welcome all the other MyData operators and all the services as well on board. So what I'm having now proud of to share with you is that let's roll our sleeves and make MyData based applications. And that's why I'm inviting today everybody to our MyData Accelerator, together with Confederation of Finnish Technology Industries and Sitra. So we are having here kind of flyers, and Terhi and myself, plus using social media to share our webpage where there is a link to Webrable or some kind of electronic blanket where you can express your interest on the topic, around which topic you would like to start bringing your ideas, hopefully your mock-ups, your MVPs around certain themes or topics, and let's build a half-year accelerator, spar each other, bring people and bring organizations with data, with a service idea or a mock-up regarding MyData-based app or service or solutions. Join as a user, since we wish to test each and every idea then with a user group, minimum 100 people. And then, as we are here with all the brains around MyData in the world, announce yourself to say that I'd like to join your MyData Accelerator as an expert, as a sparring partner, as a mentor, as a coach. So there are roles for each and every one of us, and we are, for the time being, topic agnostics. We've guessed something like employability, like energy and cities, or like health, wellness, or retail and food, but come up with other ideas. So this is call for action. And these are the groups that I was just mentioning. So those who use the data, those who have an app idea, those who have the data, those of you who feel that you can spar and join us here in Helsinki on more regular basis. And well, please join us. And these are the actions that we want to promote. But this is not all for call for action on my behalf, because what we would now really like to see, and this session is an example, I've taken notes and want to discuss in my role at Vake, how can we promote interoperability and cross-border data exchange, as well as that how can we see that MyData operators are kind of having such interfaces that me as a citizen, I can enjoy MyData services whenever I am, in whichever location we are. And that's why I'm kind of quoting MyData activists of all countries unite. So please contact Vake, but also MyData Global and Teemu as soon as possible. And let's work in this community so that we can do interoperability. Vake can take part in actions which are open source and have open APIs. So this is something that I want to emphasize, and this is also one of the discussions we had this morning, 8:30, 10, facilitated by Citra, when we discussed about investors and heard 4 interesting pitches regarding how to make services on top of MyData. If you want to know how I operate, this is the motto that you will hear me quoting many times. My favorite book by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. As for the future, your task is not to foresee it, but to enable it. And with these words, I give this floor to Mikko to share what you've done with Posti. So give a big hand what they've already achieved in 2 months.
Yeah.